this week's presentation is titled XRP Farming Strategy. Talked to John a little bit about this earlier this week, but I did a little bit more research, so I wanted to share it with you guys as well. So when I'm talking about farming, I'm referring to the utilization of publicly available tools to farm XRP in the form of rewards. So what does that mean? First, I'll talk about some of the tools that I am currently using. So Gemini has partnered with Mastercard and has offered a credit card that has an XRP reward system. It comes with a 4% return on gas, EV, and transit, anything transit related, up to $300 a month, 3% on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else. The interest rate on that card is 16.49 to 34.49%. And some notes about it. I use this card as a debit card. So wherever I go, if I'm spending money as I normally would, asterisk as I normally would, I use this card and then I pay it off monthly. And that's an important note that in order for this card to make sense, it must be paid off completely each month. If you're not a credit card person, do not get this card. Paying interest on your balance is dumb. So it's important that it gets paid off monthly. So this is offered from Gemini. When you get your rewards, it is accumulated on a Gemini wallet, and you can move those to your cold storage hardware wallet at will. So you have kind of a freedom to do that. So I found a new farming tool recently, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So it is called the Uphold debit card. So I don't want to show you guys this. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So Uphold is another exchange. Interesting note, when the SEC lawsuit dropped on XRP, Uphold was the only exchange that kept XRP and kept transactions of it. So it has a nice history with XRP in terms of understanding what it is and buying into its vision. So with the Uphold debit card, they offer a 4% XRP on everything you buy. So similar to Gemini, but it's 4% on everything. But this is with their Elite card. The Elite card I'll talk a little bit more about, but they also offer a Essential card, which is it doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost money on an annual basis. One of the other options that it comes with is an up to 8%. So they say up to 8%, but it's a 4% direct deposit match per month when you set up direct deposit. And it has a maximum XRP return of 500 in USD per month. So what you do is you set up a direct deposit into Uphold, and then Uphold matches that monthly at 4%. So for the people that kind of are paying attention to finances out there, basically the highest rate you can get on a high yield savings account right now is about 4.6%. 4.6 to 5% with SoFi or Golden One. And that's annualized. So let's say you have $1,000 in there. All right, 4% of that, we take that and we kind of distribute that divided by 12 each month. But this one is 4% each check. Every single check. So keep that in mind. So going back to our presentation. So some terms and conditions. The XRP debit card is insured and issued by Cross River Bank. No, we were actually talking in our group chat earlier about X Money that's going to be coming out. That's also using Cross River Bank. Cross River Bank is a member FDIC on the Visa network. So you can use the debit card at Costco because Costco uses the Visa only program. Users that use this program have access to a fiat asset account. It is labeled your USD account on the Uphold platform. And this account is held at Cross River Bank. It is member FDIC, and all funds in this account that are USD are FDIC insured up to $250,000. Only your FDIC, only USD is FDIC insured, not cryptocurrency, precious metals, or other currencies. So I had some questions. One, will I still receive XRP direct deposit rewards if I route my paycheck to Uphold as direct deposit and then immediately transfer it over to SoFi? Two, what fees are associated with holding this Uphold account? Three, what returns can I expect by using this XRP direct deposit program? And how does it compare to the interest gained on SoFi? Or if I were to institute this into my XRP farming strategy, how should I do it? So first, will I still receive XRP rewards if I route my paycheck to Uphold and then route that over to SoFi? So these are from the Uphold direct deposit cashback terms. This is directly from their website. So the program allows eligible participants to earn this cashback reward for 4% of the gross amount of each qualifying deposit made to their Uphold account via a salary linked direct deposit. This must be an ACH deposit. This must be from your employer. So you can't, this won't apply, this won't work for Venmo transfers, this won't work for Cash App transfers. It has to be a salary. So to begin earning the cash back, the eligible participant must log into their Uphold account and set up a new direct deposit of salary or wages through their employer's payroll system. Eligible participants may make multiple qualifying deposits within each calendar year. So say you work at Starbucks, you get paid weekly. Every single one of those weekly checks will have a direct deposit match. If you get paid biweekly, if you work at like a normal other type of job, you get those two. If you work at a government job where you get paid once a month, that works as well. So some limitations: only deposited funds through salary linked direct deposits are eligible. Manual transfers or peer-to-peer payments do not qualify for the qualifying deposits. So an important caveat: because the terms and conditions do not explicitly state that there's a holding period, there are two considerations. One, ACH deposits, so direct deposits from your employer, require a settlement time. This is usually 1 to 2 days. Rapid transfers, so say you transfer from Uphold to your SoFi account, may trigger a compliance review. So it is important to allow the ACH transfer, the direct deposit, to settle in your account before transferring out. So the most important observation is that across the entire direct deposit cashback terms page, there is no clause stating that funds must remain in the account for a specific duration. So let's say you just want to gather the cashback rewards. You can deposit into Uphold and then deposit into your primary bank, whatever you use. And this is important. The language is important. So that's one of the questions that I had, and I wanted to make sure, because my plan is to continue to use SoFi. I really like SoFi. I like their vaults method. So I'm going to continue to use SoFi, but I want to farm this XRP. So second question: what fees are associated with this Uphold account? So these are directly from the cardholder agreement. So this is kind of comparing the elite card here in the middle row, and then the essential card on the left side here. So the essential card has a card issuance fee of $4.99. That is for getting the actual physical card. It costs $5. It's not mandatory that you get it. You can add it to your Google Wallet for free. Outside of that, the only other difference, well, there's a couple, but foreign transaction fees. So if you're going to go over to Japan and spend some money, there's going to be a $1.50 pay as you go fee. The elite card has a $100 annual fee. This comes with a 4% cash back on everything you spend with your debit card, rather than a 2% with the essential. This stuff won't really apply to me, as I'm not going to be using the ATM features. I'm not going to be really using it much as like an actual card, but really it's just a farming opportunity. So these are kind of options for you if you wanted the elite, or if you wanted the kind of essential card, which is kind of the basic card. So third question: what returns can I expect from an by using the XRP direct deposit program, and how does it compare to interest on SoFi? So I have a chart here with kind of a breakdown of what to expect. So the 2,400 value is based on minimum wage in California. So using 4% XRP reward per month at minimum wage here in California, you can expect $96 of XRP applied into your account. At $1.50, that is 64 XRP. At $2, that's 48 XRP. At 3,000, you can expect 120 USD into your account per month. $120, guys. I mean, SoFi, I mean, with my 4%, I'm going to get into that, but it's definitely not as much as this. So even if you're like, hey, I don't know about XRP and stuff like that, you can in Uphold swap this XRP for whatever asset you like. Note that is a taxable event. So keep that in mind. But, and we'll get into kind of some more specifics about how this would apply to us based on our incomes. If you guys want to get into some specifics about that, we'll wait till the recording's over. But you do get a cap at $500 reward. And at $1.50, that is 333 XRP per month, guys, per month, right? At $2, that's 250 XRP per month. 4 months, you get 1,000 XRP for $0. Zero. Okay. Moving forward, how does this compare to SoFi? So at the minimum wage in California, the Uphold XRP reward will be 96 USD. Okay. Annually, that would be $1,100 per year. SoFi, so important note, the monthly estimates here assume that 1 month's deposit stays in the savings. If the balance grows over time, the interest increases accordingly. So what this is saying is, okay, you put $2,400 a month into savings, take that out. At the end of the month, you put another $2,400 in. So $8 a month from SoFi. This is better than every other bank, most other banks. So it is still pretty good. But annually, what you would make in interest on your high yield savings account with SoFi, you would make in 1 month on Uphold. 1 month. Okay. So again, the 2,400 is based on the monthly minimum wage of California. So we can talk specifics about kind of where you fit in here if you'd like at the end of this. So final question, if I were to institute this into my XRP farming strategy, how should I do it? So the core idea is this. I will not be banking with Uphold. I will be using Uphold like a cash back adapter. Every paycheck will generate XRP automatically. And this is kind of the cash flow. My employer will be sending money to Uphold to trigger my 4% XRP. Once that is settled with an ACH transaction, so 1 to 2 days, I will send that over to SoFi to run as my primary bank. All XRP that is generated through Uphold will stay on the Uphold wallet and be transferred to my cold wallet monthly. Okay. So some further information. The starting strategy is going to be this. This is kind of how I'm going to do it moving forward. First, I'm going to start with the following direct deposit split. I'm going to do a 75% of my paycheck sent to SoFi normally. And then 25% of that is going to be sent to Uphold. So I'm going to be starting with the strategy to verify the viability of the Uphold program. In this manner, I will still have funds in my SoFi account to cover my life's expenses. So this will be a 1 month test period. 2, if the process works well, the direct deposit split will go to 0% SoFi and 100% Uphold. Okay. So the banking rhythm, if all goes according to plan. 1, direct deposit will arrive in my Uphold account. 2, I will wait 1 to 2 days for the ACH funds settlement. 3, I'll transfer funds from my Uphold to SoFi account. Note, I will be keeping some of my funds on the Uphold account to use the debit card at Winco. So if you guys shop at Winco, you know that they don't accept credit. So you have to use a debit card there. So to maximize my XRP farming, I will use my Uphold debit card to farm more XRP at Winco. So I have a budget where I know basically monthly what my average is in terms of how much I spend on groceries. So I'll kind of keep that in there and kind of farm a little bit more that way. So, are there any questions?
Okay, yeah. I got a
Okay, are
question.
there going to be specific questions?
Yeah.
Okay, well we'll end the recording here, and so
Well,
thank you guys.
okay. I think these are good questions, just like in general, if you don't
Okay,
care.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, like just off the bat, mm, would there be a benefit of banking directly with cross river banking rather than some of its like subsidiaries or whatever? Or like did they offer a rewards program like that? That's one thing I was wondering. The second thing is, could we look up right now while you're screen sharing what the X money is going to offer? Because I saw some numbers on there. I would love to see what they're talking about, just compared to what we just went over. Because I'm thinking about, I trust that name, and like he's also using the same bank. So like, is there any benefit of just banking directly with them in case you're scared of like doing this like hybrid thing, which I think maybe some people are. Another thing too is with your SoFi banking, a lot of banks require a direct deposit aspect into it to get the rewards. Will you no longer receive your high yield savings if you're not doing direct deposit?
Okay, yeah. Let me. I'm writing your questions down because I do want to research these as well. Will not. So will not using direct deposit at um,
SoFi.
SoFi generate the same returns, the interest returns?
Yeah. What is there a consequence for not having direct deposit with them? Like that can be the thing, because sometimes like they only give it to you if they're your main banker, you know?
Yeah. So my fiance, we have her now moving into a high yield savings account with SoFi without
Yeah.
direct deposit. They
Okay.
still offer you the boosted 4%
Okay.
as long as you're over $5,000 in the accounts
Okay.
total.
Okay.
So I can
That's
still get the 4% while maintaining the XRP farming strategy.
okay.
Um,
That's a good answer to the question.
yeah, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll look into the first question and tell me if I got this right. You said, does banking with Cross River Bank offer the same reward system as the Uphold?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Great presentation so far, dude.
Yeah, bro,
Thank you.
killed it. I thought that shit
Yeah.
was really good too, and like that's why like I thought this was good, so I was paying attention. I have some questions about it. Um, you had some good information. I mean, I like how you broke down like the rewards for. I mean, it's true. Like you're gonna make. I mean, at minimum, almost 100, even at minimum wage, close to $100 in XRP rewards. It's like you don't make that even in a year at SoFi. And what SoFi does, it blows like Wells Fargo out of the water. Like
Right,
Wells Fargo, you're making $4 a year on like the same amount of money. SoFi is giving you almost 100, right? But this upholds like, hey, if you want to use crypto and redeem it for USD, like you can have that almost every month. And like, I mean,
yeah,
that right there, even at the minimum, is $1,200 extra dollars a year. Um, if
yeah,
if you're making that much money anyway a year, that's nothing to laugh about, right?
right.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, what you make in a year in a high yield savings account that's offered by banks, you can make in 1 month.
pretty much, yeah. Everything broke down. Yeah, so I was like, okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm definitely curious. I'm still, I feel like not 100% confident in these hybrid things only because they're new, right? So that's why I was
right.
like, well, could you just bank with Cross River directly? But but maybe that's not what they do, right? I don't know.
So I know a
And
lot
I
of
am
these
interested in
like
this.
centralized banks are operating and using Cross River. So like you're saying with X Money, they're also going to be using Cross River.
Yeah, like
Um,
why use X
so
money if I could just bank with Cross River? Because like, I saw X money, I saw it, and like if we could look it up, that'd be awesome. But it was gonna be like 6% in rewards and all deposits in, and then 3% on all transactions out. So it effectively becomes a 9% high yield savings account.
well, yeah, which is insane.
So like if that's the case, I want to be in on that. I might wait and just do that. But so I don't know if I'm taking up your guys' time, but I think this is interesting stuff.
No, you're good. Kind of shopping around. I'm not seeing anything about it, but let me see.
We might not be able to like their thing might be like that they feed these other like the intermediaries, you know?
Yeah, which is what I do think it is, because what I'm seeing is like in the banking, it's talking about other stuff.
Okay, so yeah, see, we just learned that. Like I didn't know. I've just been hearing about their name because of like their relationship with XRP.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've been working, and XRP has a really good relationship with Mastercard. So the fact that this is Visa related, also bullish as fuck for XRP, because now it's integrated into Visa and Mastercard, which
Yeah.
processes like 90 something plus% of all credit and debit transactions. So like that's huge. That's huge. So they have a classic checking, savings, CD, custodial account, FDIC. I'm not seeing anything about kind of rewards program.
All right. Let's move on then.
Okay, so let's see. You said you wanted a X River, X banking.
Can we just pull up some numbers on that? I know it's not out yet. It's in its beta stages right now. I looked that up. But if we could just look over like what they're talking about offering, just compared to what you just presented to us.
Okay. So according to Gemini, Elon Musk's X Money is piloting a financial feature offering an aggressive 6% annual percentage yield, so 2% higher than SoFi on fiat deposits, aiming to challenge traditional banking. The service includes a reward debit card and is designed to integrate a broader digital ecosystem, though it faces regulatory scrutiny regarding its classification as bank interest. So it has a reward debit card. Let's pull this up.
I appreciate you're so into this shit, Jay. I think it's so cool.
Oh yeah, man. Highly leveraged,
You like
11%. Good. 6% annual deposit. It said that, so again, it's FDIC insured up to $250K per person.
Uh-huh.
And I can kind of dig into this on free time, but
Yeah, I want to pull someone up I saw on X about it.
yeah.
So the
Elon.
biggest win here is having a direct deposit account into the Uphold account that gives you 4%
Correct.
reward, and then it gives you XRP on top of the reward.
No, so the reward is, so when you deposit into the Uphold account, whatever you deposit into it, you get 4% a match each month or each paycheck. So you put 1,000 in, it'd be $40 XRP, and it doesn't cost you any money. It You can actually still continue to use a primary bank. So if you like SoFi, if you like X Money, if you like any of these, you can still use those and transfer out of the Uphold account. This was actually announced at XRP Las Vegas last year in November by Uphold. So the main benefit is the free XRP essentially. A little bit of time we're having to move money around, but they also
you just have to set the ACH direct deposit up with your employer.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, so that would really be it. I've already set up the 25%, 75% split this month. Next week is the first week.
Okay.
And then 3 weeks from then will be the second paycheck. And then from there, I'm going to maybe do a little bit of an update and let you guys know how it went. The rewards are distributed 7 days of into the following month. So a week into the following month. So, we here at Paradyme are very bullish on XRP for many different reasons. But if it does half of what we expect it to do, free XRP is not to be like kind of brushed off, you know?
Yeah. This is really really sick that you found this. Because I got the SoFi account already. I'm already like I already set my ACH up for like I take like 4% of my account and just like I'm not putting in a lot because like to me save like I view active income more of a priority than saving. So I take just like I have different bank accounts that like do 3%, 3%, 3% that just kind of get sprinkled out. But I think if this is a buy, like if like I want to know how your experience goes.
Yep.
Because I want to be able to like, let's say you want to transfer the XRP, but there's like some weird limitations that they're like, hey, no way, actually, like, I feel like they would, I don't know, just banking. I feel like they would do some sneaky stuff like that. So
yeah, and I'll keep you guys updated on how it goes. If it becomes an issue where like, hey, I can't transfer out my funds.
Well, it's not the money, it's the XRP, because that seems like the real win. Obviously, thinking like 10 years into the future, if you're holding a fuck ton of XRP because you, like we found out about an opportunity like this, and then let's say 2 years, 3 years down the line, we have like 5,000 XRP or some crazy shit, like, and we try to withdraw, like say 1,000 of it into a cold wallet, and they're like, actually, we want to hold, like, you need to hold a certain amount in your account, and that breaks a certain, you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that to be like cautious of.
Yeah, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that because that would be weird. I didn't find any issues with when I was kind of looking into that. When I was looking into reviews, it sounded like people could move it over to cold storage. Yeah, for people that are watching, get a cold wallet.
And we are also too, if you walked up to a random person and was like, hey, do you know what a cold wallet is? Most people have no idea that this exists yet.
Right.
So we are in like still very, very infant of all this transferring
It makes it such a unique opportunity, right? Because it's like we're so early, they're offering this 4% benefit on every single check. I mean, I can't even, if a SoFi did 4% of every single check, like that would be insane. So what you're telling me is I can make an extra $100 a month. If I'm a person that's making minimum wage, $100 a month, you know, like that right there can help pay for groceries or whatever. You know, that's very appealing, you know, and we'll see how this is affected by the Clarity Act. You know, I don't think it's going to get passed anytime soon, but, you know, if banks end up being like, hey, we're the only people that can do yield on stable coins, this program alone, it's not about stable coins at all. There's no stable coins involved, right?
Yeah, it's just, well, I guess fundamentally probably what's going on is that like these banks are, Okay. Well, why do you think they're giving XRP as a reward? Do you think that they're already holding it and like they're using that as a carrot to get you to bank with them, or do you think it's so that like that they can burn more XRP tokens? What, Devin?
I think the dollar is becoming worthless.
Yeah, for sure. The dollar's at 3% purchasing power since 1913. We're at 3%. So like they're gonna crash the system. That's coming.
Yeah, essentially, like all these banks and institutions recognize if we continue to hold large amounts of these reserves, this cash, and we don't get on this fast, our bank's not gonna exist in the next 20 years.
Right, but so they already let the Genius Act go through. Like you've been sitting on your hands this whole time. Like now you're gonna fuck us.
But again, this is why I'm saying like it had like in human years, this feels like a long time, like 5-6 years that this has already been like, but really like to get a huge population of people to like know and understand how this ecosystem works as far as digital currency, that's going to take like 20-30 plus years. Imagine we were alive when the fiat receipt came out and they're like, yeah, you transfer the gold bars that you're holding, use this piece of paper to go get them from the bank. Like most people be like, why would I give you my fucking gold to get? And you know how many, like, I would imagine that probably was a huge process to get people to trust that system, to just hand over their silver bars, to hand over their gold bars. And obviously we're holding paper. It's not really like, but it's the same thing. Some people value cash like the same way they value like a piece of property. So it is going to be a huge like transition of belief that needs to happen before I think how we're thinking next 10 years, for sure, this is, if we set up ourselves correctly, like this could be the future for us. And we're ahead of the curve. But a lot of people, like, we're still super, super early, where there still needs to be a massive amount of adoption.
Yeah. I mean, all the different banks that are involved, all the different clearinghouses that are involved, all the different creditors that are involved with XRP, Stellar, Hedera. It's crazy to me that people still think that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me, you know? But yeah, I mean, you can look at xrpscan.com and see exactly how many tokens Uphold has.
Well, I would say this to your point with, just to go back to your point around the minimum wage person putting money into an account like this, getting 4% back, $100 a month, whatever it was. Well, essentially what like, I think we all feel this, everything levels out at a certain point because inflation. And so you could be making $100 this month, but over time that 4% just becomes 0% because of inflation.
Yeah. Every year, right? Because inflation's 3%.
Yeah, and if they don't, obviously that shit fluctuates year over year. But they're like, they've been saying they've been trying to get it to 2%, and it has not gone to 2%.
But your thing's talking about 4% every month.
Every check, bro.
Yeah, every check. Yeah. Every check. I
mean, that's appealing.
I just think about it like monthly, but every check. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I mean, if I can generate 1,000 XRP in a 4-month like a 4-month time span, I mean,
how much percentage of your paycheck are you allocating to the account?
So I'm starting with 25%.
There you go.
I'm doing 75% to my SoFi, 25% to Uphold.
But he's gonna do 100 though soon, like if it works out. I'm with you. Like it was like $5,000 equals like 300 XRP on your thing or something like that, or
so you guys will use this as like your
pull that shit back up. That's what you do the reference point. I'll be okay.
So I'm not in the 2,400 range. So
you're just referencing that as like hey, like this is like that is the bare minimum bracket. Like this is even what they get, right? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was looking, yeah.
I mean,
so
in comparison,
if you were to put, let's say you got to a point where like we've gone through the whole like introduction phase, and at some point you're gonna put your whole paycheck into this account. Will you use this as like a primary banking thing?
No, I'm gonna transfer everything to SoFi.
His whole thing is this is literally there's like a checkpoint along the way, but he's literally just getting free rewards points by like using this as like a transfer system, you know, and like that's all they want is like part of the thing is too is like I think why they're giving away the XRP is like they're moving money, you know, like they don't even care. That's why I said not only like a savings, like every deposit, if you put money through us, like that's good for us, you know.
So you said there's 2 settlement processes, like there's the deposit and then there's like you have to wait for it to settle over 2 days.
Yeah, so ACH typically takes 1 to 2 days to settle with the banks. You know, so they'll say get your paycheck 2 days early. That's kind of a selling point for a lot of these banks. SoFi does it, Crossover Bank does it, Uphold does it. So they go, get your paycheck 2 days early. And yes, you do get your paycheck 2 days early. But what it is they're crediting your account. They see ACH has sent the message to the bank that here's how much funds are coming, right? SoFi credits your account with that much money, but the actual money, the value doesn't transfer to SoFi until 2 days later.
So you have to, I guess you just play it by ear. Like, because let's say you have like, if you put money in, there's that like your check point, and then you'll wait to pull that money to your SoFi. Essentially, like you'll wait a week or whatever to transfer it out.
I'm gonna wait 2 days.
Okay.
2 to 3 days.
Yeah, I would need to find them. Yeah.
2 days to go to Uphold.
I would give it a couple more days than that just to play it safe, but
yeah, that's not like.
But I know you're testing the parameters, right?
Yeah, this will break the systems. I feel like what's gonna happen is they're gonna catch on the people who are doing this shit. They're gonna recognize, people are using our reward system to transfer out and collect their XRP, which people have been gaming like the credit and debit systems, like opening bank accounts and get the rewards and like transfer. Like that still goes on. But I think this is, I don't know. I'm curious to see if they catch on to it. And I want to do it too.
Why?
I want to
That's actually why I'm gonna use their debit card as like my grocery shopping thing, because okay, he's actually using the account to like buy groceries and whatnot.
Yeah, like it's probably like you can put $1,000 into it, and like as like a buffer, and but every paycheck comes in and like immediately, not immediately, but like once it settles, goes out. But you're always holding money in there, and like from their point of view, they have a new customer, and he's getting his direct deposit in, and he's spending it or whatever. They're seeing it leave, right? They don't fucking care, and then you are constantly holding them like some value there. I see probably no problem, dude, and like.
Right.
Most customers are not doing that. And they know that. They're like, okay, if Jay wants to literally like farm a few extra XRP, like we don't like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's probably no issue.
Yeah. So,
but if it's going from like you're just the direct deposit to zero to back to direct deposit, they're like, okay, that's a flag, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but like you won't do that. Like, you know, you're gonna have like a foundational just money in there, and that's your zero. But like it's money, you know. But you're like, that is my zero. Yeah.
Can you send the links to these cards? It's a debit card, right? It's not a credit card.
Correct. Yes. And you know, who knows? Maybe it's I really like the bank, and maybe I switch over from
well, you low-key got me thinking. I'm like, I'm using fucking Wells Fargo, which is a terrible one. You know, I'm just lazy, but I was like, this is kind of good. The math makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I did the SoFi one, but again, like I said, I'm only doing 30% of my paycheck because I don't want to just like I'm using that just for savings, and I don't want to have to think about I got to transfer like the 50% deposit that I put into that account and like.
Really, like what it should end up being is like you move your entire bank account to SoFi, and like, it's like your checking and savings, you know, because like it just makes the most sense.
I mean, I haven't had a bank as good as SoFi ever, so that's why I want to keep them. I love their user interface. I love the vaults, the vaults that they have. All that stuff is amazing.
Because really, it works better too. Like the more money you keep in SoFi, the better it is for you. Like that's one thing that doesn't make sense to me, Dev. Like having multiple 3%, it like if all the money's together making 3%, it's no different from having multiple 3%. And like what SoFi's giving you is like a higher APR. So they're like, why do that when you can have it all here and we'll give you more? That's like their angle.
Yeah,
it's the lazy fucking like I have all my like pay off credit cards and pay off like shit linked to a certain account.
Okay, yeah. That's what's stopping me from using the SoFi one, because like what it is just like it'd be a mental lock-in of having to unwind the thing that I have been like it's just been kind of already foundational level, you know. But it wouldn't take that long. I would have to just like my new debit card is this, and like because I use everything with a credit card anyway. But I know what you mean. That's what stops me too. But the Uphold thing sounds pretty dope. Maybe I just do that. I've been thinking about switching banks. The X money thing I want to do only because I love the name behind it. Like I actually trust Elon. Like I don't think I'll get fucked. You know, like
I'm going for it.
You know, I don't think I'll get fucked. I think that like I've seen how these other crypto guys go, like Sam Bankman-Fried. Everyone's like, yeah, we're just getting rich, so we just give him money, and he turns it into more money. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden, like FTX is like no longer like everyone, like all these like millionaires like lost like millions, and the Joe Schmoes like their accounts got wiped. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys remember, and like that wasn't that long ago. You know?
Iran.
And Sam Bankman-Fried was pretty much like FTX was pretty much like kind of trying to be this, but he just wasn't actually. You know?
Yeah.
One thing, Dev, I will say is like SoFi makes it so easy, bro. Like you can set up in there these things called vaults. So say you have you have this bank that does this, you have this bank that does this, you have this bank that does this. You can set up vaults in your savings account, and you get individual account numbers for those. So you can set up for, let's say my car payment comes from this account. My credit card payment comes from this account. You can go and have your payments for each of those accounts pull from individual selected vaults that you have in SoFi. It really is super, super intuitive. And It's awesome. I love SoFi. And that's the whole reason I moved over there is because they have that higher yield. But the fact that I found this Uphold this Uphold account that can match what I make in a year on SoFi
Right.
in 1 month, it could be game changing.
And I just think like for any level that you're at, like it's like one of those things like some people it's like free reward on the table if you're like willing enough to redeem the coupon for it. It's like, okay, I'm already getting like nothing, I'm not doing any extra work other than like set up the account, but like I'm already getting the paycheck. Me personally am already spending my money to buy XRP anyway, right? I could literally like I just ran some numbers. It's like I could get X amount of XRP for free in a year, like that I spend like, my own money for. It's like, so I could like, theoretically like, 100% increase. I could significantly like increase more than XRP I would get, right? For no extra charge, right?
Right.
And then I could just convert it to just dollars, which you're like, okay, like even at the lowest level at $24,000, that's an extra $1,200. You could convert that to just like a one-time thing of dollars, or you can just hold to the moon. And like you guys are already saying that like they're switching things over. I don't know,
Right. Look, let's say 1 month, right? We've all heard the 589 Easter egg. That's kind of XRP. You hear 589. All right. Let's say in 1 month you got 48 at $2, 48 XRP times $589. Let's say that's in 2030. That's $28,000 you made on 1 month, and you just have to hold it for 5 years. If that happens, right? Huge hypothetical, not financial advice. When I'm telling you this, you do what you want. You go talk to your own financial advisor. We're not financial advisors at all. This is just something that that I'm going to be trying, and it's like we're farming. So
it's just direct deposit. It's just direct deposit.
Right.
That's all it is.
And what it could turn into, what it could turn into is something phenomenal. So, do your own research for the people watching. Do your own research into this. If this is something you're interested in, drop a comment down below. Huh? Yeah, we are.
We're still recording.
Yeah. So, if this is something you're interested in, drop a comment down below. Let us know how this has worked for you. And if you have any notes or anything that we should know, let us know. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you're updated every time I put up a new video. And remember, who you are now equals who you'll be tomorrow. Peace.